If you look at the calendar, it is October the 7th, and this is when more than 1,200 men, women, and children were murdered 2 years ago. 251 people taken hostage, 48 still in captivity. In Israel and around the world, the 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attack is being marked as a somber milestone, with hostages still in Gaza and peace talks underway. Rabbi Abraham Cooper is joining me live from Jerusalem in Israel, where it's now in the early morning hours of October the 8th. Here's a live look, in fact, of the very dark Jerusalem. And again, when I say early morning hours, it is 4:11 a.m. right now on October the 8th. Rabbi Cooper, thanks so much for taking the time out on this October the 8th for you. I should say good morning.
Hi, Marla, and yes, this is a very difficult and somber time, especially since we've just launched the Sukkot festival, which is known as our most joyous holiday in the year. So as a result, the formal governmental events will take place on the 16th of this month after the Sukkot festival is over. But that didn't stop all of the synagogues. I was in one this morning, special prayers. And for each of us who know family members of some of the living and also some of the dead who are being held hostage, you can't help but having that in your thoughts. It's been there for the last 2 years. And your heart goes out to the people who live here in the state of Israel. It's a very difficult time. Although Israel has essentially won it militarily, the cost, starting with the 1,200 innocent people murdered 2 years ago and another 1,100 plus soldiers now been killed, is something that's, you can't escape it. It's part and parcel of what life is like right now in Israel. But in addition to that, Marla, there's a whole nother element, which is that on October 7th, the world expressed empathy for the innocent victims of that butchery that you described. But starting October 8th, you might say the other front of this war, which is the propaganda war, you have to say that Hamas is winning all across the world, including on the UCLA campus today. You had people demonstrating, burning flags, basically backing Hamas, backing the murderers, continuing to accuse Israel of a genocide, which is a lie. And it's affecting synagogues around the world. I was in LA last week for Yom Kippur at my synagogue. Armed guards, LAPD throughout the Jewish neighborhoods, just to be able to go and pray on the holiest day. And in Manchester, England, an actual attack on a synagogue, 2 Jewish worshipers were killed. And not 2 hours later, pro-Hamas demonstrators in Manchester demonstrated downtown. In London, they gathered. And you have to really ask yourself, we're not talking about two-state solutions anymore. We are talking about those who back Hamas's genocidal goal of killing every Jew on the planet. So you have the pain that you feel in Israel, and you have the worry, anger, and fear in Jewish communities across Europe and across North America.
Yeah, and while you were just talking, we were showing images from the local campuses where those pro-Palestinian demonstrators are out in full effect today, from Cal State Northridge and also UCLA, you made a reference to. And we have a reporter here, Susan Hirasuna, who will talk more about this after our conversation is done. There are a lot of people, though, around the world, Rabbi, who do feel sympathy for Palestinians. Where do you, I mean, you made it pretty clear where you stand on that. With that.
No, actually, Marla, I think it's a fair question that you're asking. I'm not anti-Palestinian, and I think most Israelis are not anti-Palestinian, but they are anti-Hamas. And what's happened over the course of the last 2 years, these demonstrations, they're backed by support from Iran, from Qatar. This is not about a two-state solution. This is about getting rid of Israel and replacing it with an Islamist extremist state with no place for Jews. Let's be honest about what it is they're calling for. The overall discussion about the future of Palestinians and Israelis is something I think that actually the President of the United States is making, you might say, a last shot at trying to resolve and find some common ground. But be very clear, when you attack a synagogue in Manchester, England on Yom Kippur, that's not about a two-state solution. That's about killing Jews.
Less than 30 seconds. I do want to get your final thoughts on the negotiations underway right now. How close or confident do you feel that this will come to an end finally?
That is the question. The latest information I've just seen sounds like it's bait and switch again by Hamas. I think the key here is really Qatar. They're still financially supporting Hamas. If they told them to lay down their arms, cut the deal, you can come to Qatar and live a good life, it could all end in an hour. If that doesn't happen, I pray I'm wrong, but I think that we're going to be back to square one and a lot more suffering, a lot more violence, and I fear for the lives of the remaining Israeli hostages.
All right. Well, Rabbi Abraham Cooper of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, live with us from Jerusalem today on this, where you are now, October the 8th. We thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you, Marla. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Well, just speaking of Susan Harasuna, not long after the attack in Israel, college campuses became the focal point for protests. And today, you're seeing dueling demonstrations, those who wanted to remember the dead from October the 7th and those calling for a free Palestine. Susan is here to show us how those demonstrations went today. Quite a turnout.
Indeed, we have footage from two campuses, Cal State Northridge, which you mentioned, and UCLA. Now, at Cal State Northridge, a quiet commemoration of the horrors of 2 years ago in Israel and a call, of course, for the release of the remaining hostages. Campus police moved a lone pro-Palestine demonstrator away from the pro-Israel side. He moved back to an area on campus flying the flag of Palestine. Here's what it looked like at UCLA. A large group of people calling for a free Palestine. Other than that group, a far more quiet remembrance from students supporting Israel. There was a couple of Instagram posts that showed that there were just going to be flowers and a walk actually in a couple of days. Now, Don Levy is planning a concert tonight at the Wilshire Boulevard Temple to mark October 7th. And here's what he hopes people will go away from this sold-out event.
To tell the stories of heroism, linking today's acts of bravery with really timeless Jewish values. We're hopeful people will come away uplifted and inspired.
I asked him whether it bothered him that the pro-Palestine demonstrators show up on October 7th, where students supporting Israel commemorated the date. He said because he wasn't there, he'd rather not say, but he said all who call for peace are appropriate on this day.
Yeah, and to see some of those images from the Nova Music Festival of all the young people who lost their lives 2 years ago today.
Right, and we remember, of course, it took a few months, but when we had that pro-Palestinian encampment at UCLA,
right.
So it was a stark contrast. Their voices were loud, passion still there, but no, they were not allowed to set up camp.
Right. All right, Susan, thanks so much.